Another video with new stories from Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia and Djibouti. I try to cover all the major developments happening in the Horn of Africa. Firstly, Sudan, will have a look at the aftermath of Thursday's protests. Are the sit-ins still going on? And Forces for Freedom and Change coalition has issued some statements. This alliance could make some key decisions in coming hours. Second news story is from Djibouti, Ethiopia-Djibouti relations. In several previous videos, we spoke about some tensions between Ethiopia and Djibouti regarding their economic relations. Ethiopia relies heavily on Djibouti's ports for its imports and exports, and Djibouti has been demanding an increase in port fees, while Ethiopia is exploring other options as well to diversify its use of foreign ports. Now, reportedly, Djibouti has banned the import of Khat plant from Ethiopia. A third news story is about new Somalia's Prime Minister. His name is Hamza Abdi Bare. He was chosen by Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. Later, Somalia's parliament ratified his election. How is he being seen in Ethiopia? Reportedly, PM Abiy, Somali regional president of Ethiopia, they are not comfortable with the appointment of Hamza Abdi Bare, new Somalia's PM. Why is that? What is the reason behind this discomfort? Fourthly, we have a new story about Ilhan Omar, a Somali American, first Somali American to be elected as member of US House. She appeared at a concert in Minneapolis a few hours ago, where Somali singer Sultan Sirar was performing. But the people who were attending the concert did not allow her to speak. She was booed for around 10 minutes. And those attending the concerts were mostly Somalis, around 10,000 participants there. Why is that Somali American, Somalis living in the US are against Ilhan Omar? And lastly, viewers, we have two clips for you showing diaspora demonstrations, Ethiopian diaspora demonstrations. One is from Los Angeles and the other is from Denver. One protest is by Tigrayans and the other protest is by Amhara ethnic group members in the US. Firstly, viewers, Sudan, on Thursday, there were massive protests across Sudan. Protesters have been protesting since October. They want an end to military's role in Sudanese politics. Despite some mediation efforts by UN Transition Mission in Sudan, IGAD, African Union, some Middle Eastern countries, Eritrea, so far there is no solution in sight to end political crisis ongoing in Sudan. Government forces used force. Around 10 protesters were killed in use of live ammunition by security forces. After that, protesters did not end their demonstrations. Now, in at least 3 cities, sit-ins are underway. In Khartoum city, capital of Sudan, sit-ins, at least one sit-in is underway at Al-Jawda. In Bahri, northern Khartoum, Al-Muassasa sit-in is ongoing. In Darman as well, at least one sit-in is being reported. So Sudanese protesters have ended their demonstrations, but they have started their sit-ins. In Darman, Bahri and Khartoum city sit-ins are under. We have 3 clips for you showing these sit-ins, which are gradually growing bigger. Secondly, main Sudanese civilian coalition, Forces for Freedom and Change, which has held some meetings with Sudanese army, which is a main political player in Sudan as well. FFC is going to make some key announcements in coming hours. Reportedly, FFC could suspend its talks with Sudanese military. If it happens, it could lead to increased pressure upon Sudanese military, and it could lead to intensity in the ongoing demonstrations and sit-ins being seen in Khartoum city, Bahri and Darman. I'll update you in coming hours about any statement if it happens, if it is issued by Forces for Freedom and Change. Meanwhile, watch 3 small clips. First one is from Al-Muassasa Bahri sit-in, second one is from Darman, and third one is from Khartoum city, Al-Jawda sit-in, capital of Sudan.
لا لا ما عندنا اشتباك ما عندنا اي حاجه نحن أسود
Secondly, viewers, Ethiopia-Djibouti relations, economic relations. We have a new story about the 2 neighboring countries. Ethiopia, being a landlocked country, relies on Djibouti's ports. Around 90% of Ethiopian imports and exports use Djibouti's ports. And in recent years, Ethiopia has been trying to diversify its use of foreign ports. Ethiopia and UAE's DP World and Somaliland's government started construction of Berbera port. Ethiopia had shares in Berbera, but later Ethiopia lost its shares because of Tigray conflict reportedly. But Ethiopia intends to use Berbera port. Ethiopia is interested in Somaliland Zila port as well. Ethiopia wants to use Kenyan ports and Eritrean ports too. That is why Djibouti has been demanding increase in port fees. Secondly, Djibouti wants legally binding agreement with Ethiopia for the next 10 to 15 years. Ethiopia will only use Djibouti's ports, especially for transportation of fuel. So that is why tensions have been there between Ethiopia and Djibouti. And Djibouti today announced ban on import of Khat from Ethiopia. Khat is a narcotic plant, and Ethiopia exports Khat to Djibouti. From the 5th of July, this ban will come into force, and Djibouti will import Khat from Kenya and Yemen. It has been announced by Djibouti's government that it has made preparations that now Khat will be imported from Kenya and Yemen. So another development which indicates that Ethiopia-Djibouti relations, economic relations, are going through a bad patch, it seems. Ethiopia does not want to solely rely on Djibouti's ports, and Djibouti wants legally agreement with Ethiopia. Djibouti wants Ethiopia to use its ports only, because 90-95% of Ethiopian exports are using Djibouti's ports, and Djibouti has been receiving large sums of money in fees because of Ethiopian use of its ports. Let's see, will there be normalization of relation between Ethiopia and Djibouti? I personally think that Ethiopia will not compromise on its position that it wants to use other ports as well for its imports and exports. Next news story is from Somalia-Ethiopia relations. Hamza Abdi Bare is new Prime Minister of Somalia. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud picked him, and Somalia's parliament approved him. He gained vote of confidence as well a few days ago. How is he being received? How is his election being received in Ethiopia? Reportedly, Ethiopian PM Abiy, Somali regional President Mustafa Umar are not comfortable with Hamza Abdi Bare's election as Prime Minister of Somalia. Why? Firstly, Hamza Abdi Bare is from Jubaland state of Somalia. Ahmed Madobe is Jubaland state's president. And it is said that Ahmed Madobe provided shelter, provided refuge to some Tigray leaders, Tigray fighters during Tigray conflict. So Ethiopian government of PM Abiy, Somali regional government, they see Jubaland president as an ally, as a supporter of TPLF. And Hamza Abdi Bare has very close ties with Ahmed Madobe. That is why first point of concern for PM Abiy. Secondly, Hamza Abdi Bare is from Abdi Ile sub-clan of Somalia. Main tribe Ogaden, and sub-clan is Abdi Ile. And a former president of Somali region of Ethiopia, Abdi Ile, was also from the same sub-clan. Abdi Ile was removed in 2018 after PM Abiy took office. From 2010 till 2018, for 8 years, he remained president of Somali region. And he was a close ally of TPLF, of EPRDF alliance, a close ally of Meles Zenawi as well. After 2018, after massive demonstrations in Somali region, Abdi Ile was removed and he was put in prison. That is why. Second reason is that since Hamza Abdi Bare and former regional president of Somali region, Abdi Ile, are from the same tribe, that is why it is being said that he could have sympathy, Hamza Abdi Bare could have sympathy, could have soft corner for Tigray People Vision Fund. So PM Abiy lost an ally in the form of Farmajo, who was a close ally. PM Abiy, Farmajo, Isaias Afwerki were close allies. He lost an ally. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud became new president, and then a prime minister, which is being seen as pro-TPLF has been elected in Somalia. That is why it is being said that Ethiopian PM Abiy is concerned. Mustafa Omar of Somali region is also concerned about Hamza Abdibare's election as Prime Minister of Somalia. Fourthly, viewers, Ilhan Omar is a US member of House. She is a Somali American. She's a member of House from Minnesota. First Somali woman to be part of US House. She's known for being very vocal about issues related to Muslim world, and she was seen as pro-Tigray in her stance on Tigray conflict. She attended a music concert a few hours ago in Minneapolis, where Sultan Sirrar was performing, a Somali singer. Around 10,000 Somalis were attending this concert. When she came on stage, people booed. They did not allow her to speak. For several minutes, people booed and she could not speak. So it seems that she has become very unpopular amongst Somalis living in Minneapolis, in her constituency. She has been target of threats, attacks from white supremacists. And now her own people, Somalis, are also attacking her, you can say, booing her. Why was that she was not allowed to speak? Why are Somalis in the US not happy with Ilhan Omar? It is being said that she is not representing Muslims, Somali Muslims. Her values, Islamic values, are being targeted. So she seems to have lost the support of Somalis living in her constituency. Will she be re-elected? That remains to be seen. Watch this small video showing how she was booed by the people attending Sultan Sirrar's concert in Minneapolis a few hours ago. Lastly, viewers, Ethiopian diaspora community from Tigray and Amhara ethnic group members are continuing their demonstration, their activities abroad, especially in the US. We have shared several videos, pictures of Tigray and diaspora, Amhara diaspora community protests in the US. Now we have two clips for you. First one is from Los Angeles. Some Tigrayans can be seen protesting, and the second clip is from Denver, where Amhara ethnic group members can be seen protesting. Watch these two clips. Thanks for watching.
We want y'all to stand with us. We have protests regularly. We've been having protests globally, around the world, not in America, because there's something called other countries too. This is one country, that's it. So globally, we're doing protests. We want you guys to join us. We want you guys to stand for humanity. You do not have to be from Tigray. If you're human, it's enough.